Good evening, you're watching The Last Word. I'm Sanjana Chowhan. On to our top focus. The Shiv Sena has resurrected a proposal that's over 5 years old. BMC corporator Sheetal Mahatre, the chairperson of the Civic Body's Law and Revenue Committee, wants to ban the display of lingerie on mannequins and has discussed a proposal on Monday for the 8th time in 6 years. The proposal to remove these mannequins in front of shops was first raised by former BJP corporator Ritu Taude in 2013. But it was shot down as no action can be taken except against that of illegal hawking. Now, is this a serious case of misplaced cultural policing and, more importantly, one of misplaced priorities? Let's take a look.
On the debate tonight, Shiv Sena making a resurrected proposal to the BMC. Shiv Sena wants the BMC to remove unauthorized mannequins that display women's lingerie in Mumbai, as it is embarrassing for women. Sena corporator and BMC Law Committee chairperson Sheetal Mahatre ordered the administration to take strict action against unauthorized mannequins in Mumbai within the next 15 days and cancel licenses of those violating it.
हमारे पास जो कायदा है यानी इलीगल जो मैनिक्विन्स है यानी जो झाड़ पे लटके हुए रहते हैं या जो रास्ते पे रखे हुए रहते हैं या वॉल पे लटकाए हुए रहते वो मैनिक्विन्स के ऊपर हम ज़रूर कार्रवाई कर सकते हैं हमारे कायदे के अनुसार 313A 313B या 314 ये जो कायदे हैं उसके अनुसार हम इनके ऊपर ज़रूर कार्रवाई कर सकते हैं। तो हमने प्रशासन को वही बोला है कि जो हमारे हाथ में है वो तो हम करें, जो नहीं है उसके लिए हम राज्य शासन के ज़रूर दरख्वास्त करना चाहेंगे। लेकिन 15 दिन हमने उनको दिए हैं कि आप उनको नोटिस दे दीजिए कि ये मैनिक्विन्स आप हटाइए और अगर नहीं हटवाए तो आप उनका लाइसेंस ज़रूर कैंसिल करवा दीजिए। लीगल मैनिक्विन्स के बारे में तो हम नहीं कहेंगे कि जो शॉप के अंदर है, लेकिन जो इलीगल तरीके से है उसके ऊपर तो ज़रूर कार्रवाई करनी ही चाहिए बीएमसी ने। तो ये तो अगर इलीगल चीज़ें हैं तो बीएमसी का काम है कि इलीगल चीज़ें हटवानी चाहिए।
Political parties in the BMC, which is BJP and Shiv Sena, both have demanded to remove illegal mannequins which are hung outside the shops displaying lingerie. This is something which is not a new demand. This demand has been going on for the last 6 years. Now what the BMC is saying at this point is the fact that there is no such law where they can remove such illegal mannequins out of the shops. So that is why a law is needed, and this demand really stays. And early this week there was a meeting which took place in the law committee where 15 days of time has been given to the BMC by the corporators in concern. They have asked the BMC to send notices to all those shops which are actually selling these illegal mannequins or putting these illegal mannequins outside the shop. So to send them notices within 15 days and also ensure strict action.
Now this isn't the first time. In 2013, BJP corporator Ritu Taude, among others, made headlines for demanding the removal of mannequins in lingerie shops across the city. But the administration had informed them that there is no such provision in the MMC Act. Now, Mirror Now has several times highlighted the city's infrastructure, poor planning and corruption within the system. While all these have been ignored by the authorities, is it right to throw light on a petty issue such as removal of mannequins? So tonight we ask, shouldn't the BMC be looking at other plaguing issues in the city rather than bringing such an absurd rule? Let's debate.
And I'd like to welcome my panel this evening. Trisha Shetty, advocate and founder, she says. Saira Shah Halim, social activist. Sujay Kantawala, senior lawyer. China NC of the BJP and Anurag Naidu, a member of Think Right, are also going to be joining us shortly. Thank you so much for joining us on Mirror Now. Trisha, I'm going to come to you first. I'm waiting for China to come and join us on the panel. Do you think that this was actually warranted? Any of this, was it really necessary? Why this proposal and why being pushed so aggressively?
I first want to commend Ms. Mahatre for raising two critical issues that she has. I want to commend Ms. Mahatre for raising two issues. One of asking for menstrual leave for women by highlighting that a lot of families have nuclear families and also there are working women. And two is asking for paternal leave for new fathers. So in terms of policies and what she's advocated for, that's progressive. That's exactly what we need as a people. Now, coming to what she's been asking for. Is this a joke? I mean, are they really that disrespectful of the people and the mandate that they gave them when they elected them to power? 6 years they've been picking up this issue and fighting for this. 6 years, if the BMC needs issues, needs to know what concerns of people are, well, then go fix your potholes. There's a father, a bereaved father who lost his son, who has been going around fixing 556 potholes because he had to take it upon himself due to the BMC not doing its job. How many deaths have we had in Bombay over potholes? Also, you talk about government hospitals, the abysmal healthcare services provided, the quality of services. If they want to focus on issues, we can provide them an entire list of issues. Why? Because we actually work on ground and are privy to the struggles of the common people, day-to-day people, and we take to the streets. We go to government hospitals and know that the infrastructure is severely lacking. They don't have money there to provide quality care to patients who come in. If you want to pick up an issue when it comes to women's rights and safety, advocate for compulsory sexual education in schools, in government schools. You don't want to address any of these issues. If you truly want to empower women, then empower them with access to information about their rights.
Right.
Empower them, address child sexual abuse. It's a huge prevalent problem that's going on. Instead, you want to pick up on mannequins. How is a mannequin offending you or offending anyone's sentiments? Show me one case of violence against women that's been propagated because a man saw a mannequin with lingerie and got excited and went around abusing women. They are really wasted. And last point. When they fought for elections, when people put them in power, was this an issue that they put forward? Saying, give us votes and we will make sure we fight against mannequins and the lingerie being displayed on mannequins. It's so disrespectful for the people who voted for them. And it's also hurtful that a lady who advocates for progressive policies such as menstrual leave, parental leave for fathers is also wasting people's time, the office's time, by pushing for such issues. So it's a disgrace and they really need to find better issues that I've slated already.
Anurag Naidu, is it fair for the BMC to decide how embarrassed women are by, pushing a frivolous proposal like this, not once but twice, 8 times in the last 6 years?
Yes, Sanjana. I think I don't find any reason for not supporting Sheetalji's proposal in the BMC. The reason being, the most important reason of all, is she's been categorically talking about, now I've heard my previous panelist saying that, talking only about the mannequins, but Sheetalji is categorically talking about illegal mannequins. So we have to be very clear in what we are debating. So if something that is illegal against the law...
If you're saying illegal mannequins, why aren't you going after the mannequins that have males on them? There are a lot of mannequins which are just males in male underwear. I don't see any women who are embarrassed by that. It doesn't stop those shops from selling those male underwear. I don't see the BMC making an issue about that. I don't see Sheetal Mahatre or Ritu Taude trying to protect the pride and all of that of the women when these things are happening. If you're going after illegal mannequins, go after all of them. Why are you just going after one and sexualizing the female body?
Nobody is doing it. We have to understand nobody is doing it. There are certain section of people, even my female friends, who are finding it uncomfortable watching them out there in public spaces hanging in front of the stores. It's very uncomfortable for a lot of majority of the women that I can vouch for, who are feeling it uncomfortable walking onto this narrow streets crowded with a lot of people, and the mannequins are hanging on outside the streets. And you tell me one developed country, you've been to many countries around the globe, tell me one developed country where you find something like this. It is not about whether we let it happen, whether we let it be on display or not. It is importantly about we telling people how organized we are. It is importantly about putting the respect for women above the commercial interest that the shopkeepers or people who are vouching for them has. Because the only reason that they have to put the mannequins outside is a commercial reason, that they want to sell something, right?
Yes,
so
yes. So if you are selling something, just like I'm going to tell you that you can recharge your phone in my shop, I will obviously put up a board outside. I will obviously put up a board outside. If I tell you that you want to recharge your phone, there will be a board outside my shop. It doesn't mean that you need to feel uncomfortable by it. Okay, Sujay Kantawala, let me come to you. Sujay Kantawala, in 2013, okay, 1 second, Mr. Naidu, 1 second. In 2013, the administration even said that there was no such provision in the MMC Act that could actually, implement something like this. Do these lingerie mannequins violate the Indecent Representation or the Prohibition of Women Act?
If they're not violating,
Mr. Naidu, the question was for Sujay Kantawala. Please, I believe you made your point. Just a second. Mr. Kantawala, go ahead.
Not at all, and I fully agree with my friend Trisha when she raised issues which are more pressing and of more vital importance to the Mumbaikar and people visiting this city also, because this is the commercial capital of India.
Right.
And let me put a counter question on this. If my friend on the panel is so concerned about the mannequins which are hanging from outside shops, what has the BMC and the Shiv Sena that is in power for such a long time, although they have been winning election after election, what have they done for the footpaths of this city? Having grown up in this city, today I don't see any footpath. All these footpaths are encroached. Nothing has been done about them. You go to Fashion Street over here, there is no footpath. There is complete encroachment and everything is hanging over there. That has not gone. Everywhere you go in Mumbai, there is no footpath. And when we file PILs on various issues, I'll tell you 3 important PILs that are pending in Bombay High Court. One is the Kamala Mills, and thereafter all the regulations that came in. Second is after Dr. Amrapurkar's death, where there was a manhole which was opened and he fell right inside and his body was found 2 kilometers away. And the third is the CST collapse, the bridge collapse. All these 3 PILs which are pending have been vehemently opposed by the BMC. So when citizens come forward to ask for their rights, their constitutional obligations which are to be enforced, basic human dignity, right to safety, those petitions are also opposed in the High Court. So therefore, I don't understand taking, and this is a classic case of a red herring, that you don't want to solve the main issues, so you divert the mind of everyone, start a debate which is completely nonsensical, and therefore you hope that people like us are not going to debate on it. I mean, that is completely absurd.
Okay, Saira Shah Halim, shouldn't the BMC actually be focusing their energies into what really matters? How can we even draw a connection between sex crimes and lingerie mannequins?
No, absolutely. If you see, this proposal has been set forth by the BMC for the 8th time in 6 years without even coming to a logical, conclusion or consequence. Because they said that you cannot have, the people who actually protested against this, you can't put a blanket ban on mannequins, because either you do it, as a blanket ban or don't, deem any mannequin illegal. Because that would only come under the Indecent Representation of Women Act of 1986. However, if you look at BMC's, priorities, it is so frivolous. Look at the potholes, look at the bridges, look at the drainage system during rains. The roads are in a complete mess. The city is falling apart. But, people say that this incites passion of men. I mean, we need to normalize things like lingerie. I mean, everybody knows that women wear lingerie. So what is the harm if
Mr. Naidu, you're nodding your head. You're nodding your head. I'm going to come to you.
I don't think there's anything illegal.
It's a typical leftist
I don't think there's
I'm sorry.
illegal.
I'm sorry.
Let me finish.
I'm sorry. I don't think you can call it that.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Please let me finish, sir. Please let me finish. We know that there is a dark underbelly in Mumbai. We haven't actually stopped drug abuse. We haven't stopped accidents from happening. We have not been able to control the traffic. We have not been able to, help, bystanders who actually help, who ask for help. So now how is this matter of such a grave consequence that today the entire BMC said we need to ban this straight away? So I think let's not, give priority to things that are trite. We need to look at bigger things so that we can make Mumbai a better place for citizens to live in. And okay, fine, if something illegal is going on, you put it there, you make an array of lists, but we don't put it up on the top priority. We've got better things to work on and better things that we can actually put our minds to. So I think this is, totally irrelevant.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
And,
Anurag Naidu, go ahead.
We can do much
Go
better.
ahead, Anurag Naidu.
Two of the standard stereotyped argument that I always listen from certain set of people is, one, whenever we take up certain issues which are related to society, we say this is not about priority, this is not about infrastructure, this is not about our airports and roads, and let us talk about our roads and potholes first. So let us understand both the things goes parallelly, hand in hand. When our very own Prime Minister started talking about toilet, a lot of people criticized, but he was applauded nationally and globally for talking certain basic things which will make us look more organized. So by building toilets, Prime Minister did not stop the development. He had the record layout of the highways and the roads in India. So we have to acknowledge both things goes parallel. So if BMC is not doing their job, we can obviously hold them accountable, but we should never stop ourselves from indulging into social debates and discussions on certain important topics like this. Second, there is a stereotype left versus right conversation that I'm getting a hint of, which always is about a fight between patriarchy and feminism to create certain kind of, every time we push ourselves into the corners and we say that it is about patriarchy and feminism, and we go all our fights, we go all blazing, fighting for our ideology that we believe that we stand for, which is not true. Second, one of the important point that a gentleman just who spoke before me talked about Mumbai being a commercial capital. That's exactly what my point is. Why are we putting commercial interests of certain shopkeepers or certain businessmen over the respect of a woman? Now, I'm very glad to see Saina ji joining the debate today, not only as a politician, but she's an iconic fashion designer before she came into politics, and with a great sense of direction, she's still an icon for a large section of women in India. And you can ask her, a majority of women, at least for me, what I've came across with my friends and family, they do feel uncomfortable walking into this, the narrow streets of the crowded markets in India and mannequins hanging outside, and how people look at, it's very uncomfortable. What we BMC is all saying is, if it is not illegal, it is absolutely illegal. You should keep it inside the showroom. You can do whatever you want, but you can have a board, but don't hang it on the street. So it is very clear with their argument.
Trisha Shetty, go ahead.
Firstly, I really want to echo what Saira said as well as Sujay Kantawala. I'm in complete agreement. Now, second point, you forget your right and your left. This is not about being leftist or rightist or any of that nonsense. This is purely about women's safety and rights. If that is your priority, right? If you're saying you're raising the issue of illegal mannequins wearing lingerie, if that is your priority, then let me tell you how best to address this priority, okay? Make sure you introduce compulsory sex education in schools and colleges. Child sexual abuse is a huge problem plaguing Bombay, okay? So Mumbai, if that makes you feel better. Make sure you introduce child sexual education. Let me finish, please, sir. Make sure, let me introduce child sexual education. Second, invest in the infrastructure of these government schools where their classrooms are debilitating, where they don't have the right ventilation. Third, you talk about sanitation. Sanitation was a great measure that Modi ji advocated for. It was exactly what the women of the country needed, because lack of access to sanitation provides a lot of hindrances for women to live quality life. Make sure your government schools actually have good sanitation facilities. Make sure your government hospitals have the infrastructure set up to actually care for the rape survivors who enter government hospitals. Do you know how bad it is for rape survivors who enter government hospitals? Do you know exactly how arduous the process is? How they are sent from pole to pole and still asked to pay for fees, even though Section 357C says mandatory treatment of survivors of rape and that they should not be charged for anything. Have you, sir, done an audit of your government schools that come under BMC? Have you done your audit of your government hospitals that come under BMC? Can you provide us with the numbers in terms of how much money is being allocated to strengthen their infrastructure? If you really care about women's issues and rights, these would be the things you would be prioritizing. Now, lastly, you talk about lingerie. Are you really insulting the men in Bombay that if they see a lingerie on a mannequin, they're going to get so sexually excited that they're going to jump on any women that they see? Are you going around saying that men in Bombay have no control over their sexual urges, that if they see a mannequin? And another point, how has censorship ever addressed women's safety? If you want to address women's safety, it's not through censorship and hiding bras that somehow seem to offend you, but to make sure that you invest in the infrastructure. Tell women how to take direct action against sexual abuse. Empower them with their rights. Make sure that you're investing in these if you're serious about women's safety. But don't come here and insult the intelligence of every single person who's watching this debate by telling them that illegal mannequins donned in lingerie is so offensive to women and that it is a cause for women's safety being at risk. Show me one case where a woman has been she's been raped because a man saw a mannequin and got sexually excited and went and raped her. Like, where is our priority? This is such a skewed debate. And if you really, I'll end it with saying, if you genuinely care about the women of Bombay, then please don't waste our time. Do not waste your resources by focusing on issues like this. And over the last 6 years, you've not picked up any other issue, but this constantly you're talking about, should we pick up this issue? Why can't we take multiple issues simultaneously? If you all had the bandwidth to address critical issues, we would not have lost so many lives to potholes. If you all had the bandwidth to address critical issues, we would not be seeing how survivors of rape are treated in government hospitals. If you had the bandwidth to address these issues, we would not have lost lives in the fires that have taken place in Bombay bars. So please get your priorities straight. Lives are being lost, women are not safe, and this is what you want to focus on a mannequin?
Mr. Naidu, would you like to respond to that?
Yes, definitely. She's given
I'll come to you, Sarah.
Speech, and I'll praise for that. All my good wishes for such a beautiful speech, but I would absolutely disagree. The content has got no relation with what we are debating. We all agree with the fact that whatever she has said, that we need to have better schools, we need to have better infrastructure for our children, we need to have better sex education. All of us agree with that. So we will do that. We should be debating it, and we should be forcing the governments to do and take measures in implementing the best of the quality elsewhere. But we also want debate on topics like this. Why are we going to put the topics like this on a back burner? Since the topic has come up, since the BMC
it is on the back burner. It is on the back burner because the BMC doesn't think it is important. The BMC only thinks it is important to raise issues like this for 8 times in 6 years, constantly harp on and on about the Ram Mandir, but seems to do nothing every time the monsoon comes. What has the BMC done? In a knee-jerk reaction, it has gone and shut down all the bridges, which, mind you, Mirror now has highlighted, which were dilapidated after that incident took place at CSMT, where people lost their lives.
See, I'm not a spokesperson for the BMC, but I've been telling you...
Yes, but you are also saying that parallel things need to be done, sir. You said parallel things need to be done. I'm not saying you are a spokesperson. But if you are supportive of this, you must also understand that other things, if you're talking about parallel development, and you are claiming to protect the social and moral fabric of the city of Mumbai, it is also important that the women are safe. It is also important that the citizens are safe. What is the BMC, what is the BJP and the Shiv Sena doing to ensure that?
Safety of women is absolutely, there's something...
How is it related to these mannequins? How is it related? Please give me one example. One example of a crime against a woman because of a lingerie mannequin. I'm asking you for one example. Or you know what? I'll ask Sujay Kantawala.
Please explain me how on earth women is going to feel safe by seeing the mannequin hanging onto the streets of the market. Tell me how.
Listen, I think my friend over there needs to just reflect on what others are speaking on this debate. First, if you hear what other people say, then you will be able to answer them. Most of these mannequins which you are showing over here in these visual images are headless and faceless. To save space, they only have a torso. So I don't think even if a man is a pervert, he is going to get excited seeing this. So just let's forget on that. Second thing is, what is BMC doing about the posters? The posters for movies which are pasted on our walls and on our sidewalks, and those garish posters with all those Bhojpuri films showing women in a bad light. Why aren't they stopping those posters? In fact, those posters are more visible rather than these headless mannequins over there.
Even forget the film posters.
So let us get our facts right over here.
There is misogyny entrenched even in your Bollywood films. I'm sorry to say that. There is all of that entrenched even in your TV serials. Are you going to try and ensure all of this goes away? How about you change the mindset of the people of the city and make them more comfortable and not sexualize women's bodies? How about giving sex education to schools?
Today a person doesn't have to go and stare at a mannequin hanging outside a shop. There is so much material available on the internet. One doesn't have to go to a shop to see a mannequin.
Okay, one second. Okay, Mr. Naidu and Mr. Kantawala, 1 second. I need to bring in Saira as well. 1 second, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm really surprised that people haven't actually spoken about the drought crisis in Mumbai. The dams are empty. There's acute water shortage. Don't you think the BMC should be actually, involved in this, putting their energies in resolving the drought crisis rather than looking at frivolous reasons just to start a debate? No, if you're talking about indecency, don't you think that, on the internet, people can download porn? So if they really feel that people's minds are being corrupted, or if you feel people are getting perverted, first you ban away child pornography, you ban away pornography that is so easily available on the internet these days. Today, when a child has access to internet, and he or she can at any given point of time download explicit material, how about that? So here you are concerned about lingerie, and tomorrow you are going to tell people to give notices to women living in housing societies to remove their lingerie from balconies because it excites men. What kind of frivolity is this? I think it's time we look at more graver, serious debates and look at graver, causes that BMC can actually work upon, which can make Mumbai a metropolitan city to reckon with. So I think in today's day and age, lingerie or no lingerie is not to be talked about. It totally depends on the individual, how he or she is portraying. I don't think a mannequin is doing anything indecent. It's a way of telling that, okay, this is a lingerie shop and lingerie is available here. That's about it.
I'm trying to understand, because I think the contention here that
Rather, it is time.
Okay. Yes, 1 second. I'm trying to understand here because I believe Ritu Taude and Sheetal Mhatre both in their proposal and told the committee that there is a proper way to display. I don't quite understand what other proper way there is to display a product that is meant for as innerwear. Are you going to show it over a mannequin that is fully dressed, since that is the only way that is deemed appropriate for the BMC? Anurag Naidu, what is the proper way?
No,
since you have...
I'll tell you. They have said very clearly, the proper way is you can have inside the showroom. You can have it in your display. You can have it inside the showroom, not outside the shop, which is or any illegal places. Okay. So you can have a board, you can have the nameplate, you can have a big display that the store is selling all these items, but you can have the display inside in a showroom, and you can have whatever it is. So there's no objection on the kind of mannequin that you're going to put. There's absolute freedom of doing so.
But that takes me back to my earlier point, which I've been trying to tell you. If the problem is, if you're trying to make it about being an illegal mannequin, why aren't you raising an issue about any mannequin that is outside the store? Why just mannequins that have lingerie on them? If that is the issue, do you not think that there is something wrong with a mannequin of a male that is just sporting underwear?
That is also wrong.
Am I not allowed to get offended by that as well? Will that not evoke? What if that evokes crimes? What if that causes crimes against men?
There are women who find it uncomfortable. That should go.
Yes. So why isn't the BMC pushing for that? Why isn't the BMC pushing for all mannequins? Why just make it about lingerie? That is what I'm trying to understand. If this is about infrastructure, if this is about encroachment, if this is about illegal mannequins, let's make it across the board.
Exactly. There's no. I'm totally agreeing with you. I'm not saying the BMC, if they're talking about men and women, they should also be putting the mannequins which are having men and whatever undergarments that are there on the display, and both of them should not be allowed to put outside. So equal law applies for both. I absolutely agree with that. However, I'm not a spokesperson for the BMC, but then I can only vouch for the fact that I've spoken to a set of women and my friends in my circle, and yes, in certain markets, in certain areas where they go, they find it uncomfortable because the streets are very narrow and it's very crowded. So I'm not saying, not even for a second. See, one of the fellow panelists accused me of not listening to him. The gentleman doesn't know that not even for a single time I said...
Mr. Naidu, I can assure you that the women are probably uncomfortable because the streets are narrow and it is crowded, and not because of the mannequins.
I'm not about talking about any...
I don't think you can say that the streets are narrow, it is crowded, and because there are the mannequins, the women feel unsafe.
May I just say one thing?
Yes, Mr. Kantawala, go ahead.
Again,
May I just say one thing?
Use the word safe? I've never used the word safe. I'm saying uncomfortable. Every
I
woman
just
has
hope-
the right to feel uncomfortable. They're absolutely free
I
within
just
their
hope
own
that-
rights to feel uncomfortable. It doesn't necessarily.
May I just say one thing?
Okay,
I
okay.
just hope.
Go ahead, Sujay.
My God, he's unstoppable. I just hope that one day we don't go to Khajuraho and see curtains hanging in front. If this goes on, there's no limit to it.
What goes on? I think I don't know. I mean, what goes on?
Okay, okay. Mr. Naidu, you were going ahead. You were trying to make a point about women feeling unsafe and uncomfortable. But this is also
Unsafe
about...
is not the word. Please,
Okay,
please
uncomfortable.
remove. I've never used the word
Uncomfortable.
safety. Safety has nothing to do with it. I can
Why
fight
don't
under-
I'm
they?
sorry, but
Why don't
that
they
is not
appoint
that is
proper
not what the BMC
prosecutors?
is claiming.
Why
That's
don't
not
they
what the
appoint proper
corporators are saying.
prosecutors
The
to handle
corporators are saying
POXO
that
cases?
I'm sorry.
POXO cases are being so badly handled in courts. POXO
Sir,
cases
that's
are
the
being
BMC
so
to decide.
handled
Mr.
in
Naidu,
courts.
this
I'm not a
resolution
spokesperson
was
of the
moved in
BMC.
April
Why
of
doesn't the government
2013.
appoint proper
It was moved in
prosecutors?
2013 by Ritu Taude, who said that dummies offend women and are perceived as sex toys by some men. Then they sought the view of the license department, and this was unanimously even passed. But this BMC cannot do anything because this does not come under any provision of the MCC. Of the MMC, I'm sorry. Action can only be taken against the shop owners who display them on the sidewalk. So are you making this about illegal mannequins? Is again, my question is that. And if you're talking about illegalities and law, what about the illegal hoardings that are all over the city? I don't see the BMC saying anything about that. In fact, it is those very corporators going around wishing each other happy
Encroachment on the
birthday.
footpaths.
Mr. Naidu?
Hello, hello.
Yes.
Yeah,
Can you
come
hear
again?
us?
Yeah, can you come again? What's your question?
Yes, it brings me back to the point about what you raised about being illegal. Is it about the mannequins? Is it about the encroachment? Or is it about, as you'd like to call it, women being uncomfortable / unsafe?
No, it's not about safety. First of all, let us understand it is not about safety at all. I strongly believe it has got nothing to do with whether it is making women feel safe or unsafe. It has got nothing to do with that. It has only got to do with certain women who are also part of our society, our sisters and our friends who are feeling uncomfortable. Their position should also be respected. And BMC, all the BMC is saying is, I support BMC. I'm not a spokesperson for BMC, though I want to make it clear. The BMC is all it's saying is you can have it inside your stores, but not outside the store hanging. And I'm not linking it to any kind of provocation. I'm not linking to any kind of incitement of passion of a men. I'm not relating to any of it. I'm only telling that yes, and even the BMC cannot take any action. I've been going through the articles and I've been going through the reports. BMC cannot take any kind of action, but they can certainly fine. So I think for that till that point it is fair enough. Why not?
Okay, let me just bring in some citizen voices right now. We have Albert from Thane joining us on the phone line. Good evening. Thank you so much for speaking with Mirror Now. Go ahead, Albert. Sorry, we seem to have lost the line there, but we also have Aarti Purgaonkar from the BJP now joining us on the phone line. Good evening, Aarti. Thank you so much for joining us on this debate. First, take us through exactly what this proposal is, because it appears that, is it for just for illegal mannequins? Is it for women's safety? Is it to prevent sex crimes against women? What is the idea of this proposal? What does it aim to do?
Yes, definitely it is for, protecting women and the way we see how sexual harassment and other crimes are increasing. Now, what happens that we can also comment. I mean, many people will comment that these mannequins are there for years and years. But what I feel is changing mind of people will definitely happen, after this decision. And it is not only illegal mannequins and all. It does, yes, definitely it is. But more than that, I think, provocation to sexual abuse or sexual harassment can be definitely eliminated or minimized by this decision of BMC.
Trisha Shetty, you are not looking too pleased with that response. Would you like to respond to that?
I mean, what can I say apart from the fact that, respectfully, ma'am, you're completely clueless about women's safety issues. If you want to talk about specifically Bombay, you have no idea. If this is what you think is leading to women being sexually harassed, sexually abused, being discriminated against, then you have no idea what is going on ground. I would implore upon you to please go on ground, visit police stations, visit government hospitals, go to courtrooms, see how POXO cases are handled, as Mr. Sujay Kantewala rightfully raised. Go see how cases of sexual abuse are handled. Go to schools, do an audit, understand exactly what is going on for you to get an answer that mannequins in no way are playing a role to incite or in any way propagate violence against women. If this is your argument, then I don't even know what to tell you apart from telling you, please go sensitize yourself on this issue and do not insult the women who are survivors of abuse. Do not insult children who are being sexually abused by not taking into account their safety seriously and telling them that the way you will make sure they'll be safe is by taking off mannequins that have lingerie displaced on them. I don't know who you think is going to buy your argument, but all I can say, it is highly disrespectful to survivors, and survivors deserve better. The people in Bombay deserve better, and we do not deserve such kind of ridiculous arguments being shoved down our throats. And if you think anyone is going to buy this, you're insulting common people's intelligence.
Aarti Purgaonkar, are you still on the line?
Yes. I just heard Madam Nisha, and I'm so sorry. See, I never said that this is only reason or this is only way. You understand? I understand that what does POXO cases is handled and how people are suffering. I am also a woman. But how can you say that lingeries or such kind of display will not change the mind?
Change whose mind, ma'am?
Like Mumbai,
whose mind are you trying to change? You are basically absolving the man who is going to commit the crime of any responsibility, because you have said mannequin ki galti hai.
We are just saying
mannequin ki galti hai. The mannequin has caused these emotions in this man. The man is not to be blamed.
This is the only reason. I am saying that this can be one of the only reasons.
One of the only reasons for what?
For provocation.
A mannequin can be a reason for provocation. And so, to help the problem, you're going to remove a display of a shop. You're going to remove a display on a shop for a man who is just trying, a man or a woman who is just trying to sell lingerie, because of a mannequin that may provoke a man to commit a crime on a woman. If I'm correct, that's what you mean?
Hello, I can't hear you properly. Hello.
Miss Purgaonkar, you mean that a mannequin, removing a mannequin will help stop somebody from committing crimes against women, right? We seem to have lost the line there with Miss Aarti Purgaonkar of the BJP. But Sujay, go ahead. You wanted to say something.
See, men who commit heinous sexual acts on women, on minor girls and minor children, they are not aroused by a headless, faceless mannequin. There are other trigger factors which have been scientifically and legally proved, and not one single case has come on record where a man's perversion is it erupts because of seeing a headless, faceless mannequin. I mean, come on, let us not try to fool ourselves. Let me tell you my experience for the last so many years in courts, and this is what Trisha was also saying. Our government needs to appoint dedicated prosecutors, pay them properly to ensure that the genuine cases, not false and fabricated cases, but genuine cases where there is a clear-cut evidence available on record, there is a speedy trial, and they should ensure conviction. That is the need of the hour. We need to sensitize, we need to kind of have basic facilities in our children homes, in the shelters where young prostitutes are picked up, rescued, and they are put in those homes. See the pathetic condition. All those Bangladeshi girls come here, they work here as sex workers, and when they are caught, they are sent back. Again, they come back. So this is the problem that we are facing here today. That is the pressing need of the hour for our society. And let me tell you, if a man wants to get aroused, he
Right.
doesn't have to go to a store somewhere on the street and watch a headless mannequin. There is enough material available in magazines and on the internet for that
Absolutely.
purpose.
Absolutely.
One doesn't have to go that far.
Accountability needs to be fixed, but let me also bring in a citizen voice. We have Joseph joining us from Bangalore. Joseph, good evening. Thank you so much for speaking with Mirror Now. Go ahead, share your views.
We have got in Mumbai at least 1,000 problems which BMC can handle. Because this is not the thing. Question is here, bad roads, flowing drainages, bad traffic, everywhere dug up road. But things are so bad in Mumbai, they are trying to divert their people's attention from main problems. I don't think this is the issue. Few years back they had this issue, but now we see. But even all shopkeepers we can see, things are all good. They are fully dressed mannequins are kept. But I don't think anybody is having this kind of bikini kind of mannequins nowadays. Hardly anything. But now time has come during monsoon. BMCs, literally, they are going into the dumps. I think now is the time they are trying to divert their attention from main problems. And Mumbai is having now thousands of problems,
Okay, Joseph, thank you so much for sharing your views. Anurag Naidu, it appears that even the citizens seem to have caught on and are in fact saying that perhaps this is not the thing to focus on.
Yeah, true. Sanjana, if you categorically listen to all the citizens, if you categorically listen to everyone, everyone will agree to the fact there are more important issues in society, not only in Mumbai, but elsewhere, everywhere in India, we have more important issues. There's no doubt about it. But having said that, when certain things or issues like this come up, and it has been discussed in BMC or any kind of a proposal that has been moved in BMC.
And for that, let me make it clear. It's being discussed 8 times. 8 times in 6 years. I'm yet to see any other proposal on bridges, on roads, on potholes, on anything else that the BMC actually looks after, on pollution, be discussed with so much aggression and as many times.
I'm sure definitely they should be held accountable for potholes. I'm sure about it because we have the monsoons are really bad in Mumbai, and not only Mumbai, in Bangalore, in Delhi, everywhere it's the same case. So we should actually hold them accountable for all these things. Why are we voting Shiv Sena and BJP time and again? That is something that I don't understand. Even though we have citizen voices coming against them, but let us keep politics apart. But these are certain things. These are day-to-day issues that come up in BMCs, and they are very minor. There are many, hundreds of issues like this on which BMCs send out circulars, BMCs send out notifications for the shopkeepers. There was also talk that certain shops will be operating all throughout the night. These are the things that we should discuss. Being a responsible media now has chosen this topic, and that's the right thing because this is being discussed in BMC, and we are just discussing and putting our views on it. I'm sure definitely all of us are agree. There's no two-way and there's no convoluted view on the fact that we should be holding the government accountable for being, responsible enough for our taxes. We pay taxes and we expect good infrastructure. We expect our lives to be problem-free. But we cannot say if certain issues like this come, we cannot, like certain panelists in my co-panelists, fellow panelists have said that this is ridiculous. This is nothing. This doesn't even stand a debate. I don't think this is that ridiculous. I think, yes, we have to debate because BMC is an authority and they have decided to take it up, and we have all the rights and we should be debating it. And whosoever, if the BMC is well within the rights, they will prevail. If the law is
I'm also going to bring in one more citizen voice. We have BN Kumar from Mumbai joining us on the phone line. Good evening. Thank you so much for speaking with Mirror Now. Share your views with us.
Yeah, good evening, and my hearty congratulations to Mirror Now for taking up this subject. It's actually, I think, very stupid, silly, and ridiculous on part of BMC to come out with this kind of a thought. That very thought is, it's mind-boggling because such mannequins, etc., they are not responsible for arousing sexual, harassment, sexual crimes among men. There are many other things, which are responsible for men committing crimes against women. But with BMC, I think it's absolutely, and the politicians are trying to sidetrack the main issues trying to mislead the people by taking up such issues and trying to emotionally, I shouldn't say blackmail, but emotionally attract people towards such issues and divert attention from the main issues, Like today, you have water shortage.
Right.
Tomorrow, you have you will have the problem of the potholes,
Absolutely.
bad roads, traffic congestion, bad roads, pollution, water shortage, garbage. There are so many thousands of issues that concern you and me as common citizens.
Okay.
And I think this is very silly to,
Right.
pick up such issues.
Thank you so much, Mr. B.N. Kumar, for reaching
me
out.
only 30
Sujay
seconds.
Kantawala, let me come to you. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, please.
There are two issues which I want to leave your viewers. Crores of people are watching this debate. Two instances I want to leave you with. They are so sad. And BMC has not done anything about it. There is a father who has filled up more than 500 potholes and bad roads because he lost his son. Did a single official or the local corporator go and stop him? Okay, sir, don't do this. This is our job. We should do it. Nobody has done it. Second, I'll tell you, Chandanwadi crematorium, final place for all of us to go. It is such a pathetic place, and I have written letter after letter to the. In fact, I said that from my own pocket, I'll make a donation for the upkeep of this place. That at least let us have a decent place where people go. Out of the furnaces, only one furnace is always working, and there is a queue of bodies which has to go for the purpose of for the purpose of its burning. There is a third issue, that is a Banganga crematorium over at Nepean Road. They are supposed to have a gas furnace, which has never started. That is just a container box, and it has never started. They are still using wood over there. These are the issues which are of importance, which need to be taken into consideration. We need to pay respect to our citizens, and even after they are dead. That is not being done.
Okay.
And here we are talking about some people who are carrying out a legitimate business and having headless mannequins, that they will excite the perversion in some men.
Okay, fair point. Trisha, really quickly.
I forget the lady's name, the representative from BJP, when she says that bras is going to cause provocation and therefore incite violence against women, that's a very dangerous argument. Are you then going to also then moral police and ask a woman if she's going and filing a case of sexual harassment, what were you wearing that may have provoked a man? Are you expecting women to dress up and cover their bodies from neck below to not provoke any man, because lest a man see a woman who's wearing clothes that may excite him, he'll go jump on her? It's a very dangerous argument. Second point, Mr. Naidu, you keep talking about priorities. You're saying women have expressed this concern of lingerie. Can you show us one representation or one police complaint that any woman in Bombay has filed against these mannequins where she's raised this as a concern? Don't show me a recent report. Show me a backdated report. You've been talking about this issue since 6 years, right? Show me one representation that the people that a woman has filed, one FIR that a woman has filed alleging that mannequins and seeing lingerie on a mannequin is disturbing her mental peace and that she's worried about women's safety. You're saying women have raised concern. Show us the paperwork. If you can show us the paperwork, if you can show us the signatories of women who reside in this city who have expressed this concern, then you are right. It is the people's concern that you've taken forward. But show us this paper first and then expect us to believe that this is a real issue that people here care about. Because as Mr. Kantawala rightfully said, we go on ground, we witness the day-to-day struggles and realities of citizens of India. So therefore, when you put forward this argument that this is a critical issue that people care about, for us it seems highly insensitive and tone-deaf.
Absolutely, Trisha Shetty. Thank you so much for making your point. And thank you so much for joining us on the debate tonight. Sara Shah, Sujay Kantawala, Anurag Naidu and Trisha Shetty. Open drains, dilapidated bridges, potholes, pollution, never-ending traffic woes. Now, these are the real issues of every Mumbaikar. And if the intention is to reduce crimes against women and ensure that there is women's safety, shouldn't there actually be some proper long-term measures and not frivolous proposals like these? Thank you so much for watching. Good night.